Okay, back again, Animoji Gaming. So I tried to play another PlayStation 4 game, which is basically an open world. And even though I'm not really like it either, because even though it was take time in the modern times, it definitely looks realistic. But for some reason, it feels like a sandbox for some reason, because maybe the Ghost Recon are just meant to be just fighting or shooting games, such as the Call of Duty, and I'm just not sure why I didn't immediately run the games yet on the PlayStation 4. So I used to wishlist this game on the Steam as well, but since the discount is never really significant, so I haven't buy it on the Steam, even though if I already buy it, I'm not sure whether I will install it or not, because yeah, even until now I still haven't tried to utilize my main Steam account games collection yet, for some reason, because maybe I'm just not brave enough to log it in, even though it is already guaranteed with the two-factor authorization, which still can be bypassed for some reason, especially when you are already a public figure. So some of the Indonesian YouTuber are get hacked of their YouTube account, so that's the reason why they are right now try to implement a special additional feature, so maybe three-factor authorization, which I just don't get it. If we are just a regular person try to do that all the time, because two-factor authorization is already making us pretty annoying, and I just don't get it why, even though this video is only around 24 minutes, but it's already 2 minutes running, but I still haven't run the game yet. Maybe I'm just eventually got away from keyboard for several minutes, but I quite forgot to turn off the recording, because yeah, most likely it was recording at night, so maybe I want to take a pee first. I don't know. So I'm not sure whether I will get interrupted or not, and I think this one is the last Animoji that I want to record today, even though I already tried to check which games that basically I need to do remaining before I need to copy from the other SSHD again into the OTG drive, or maybe to another SSHD or the current desktop SSHD first before copying into the OTG drive. So basically the other remaining game footage that I will make in the future was basically the Watchdog Legion, the first early gameplay when I first played on the PlayStation 4, which is for around 1 hour and 8 minutes, so it's pretty long. It's almost the same as like Cyberpunk 2077, but it is actually not the longest that I will make, because there's still 1.5 hours of Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain, and yeah, it will be pretty long, but thankfully there are the remaining 2 video. So there are 5 videos, including this video, which is the Ghost Recon Wildlands. So the remaining 2 videos was the Assassin's Creed 3 Complete Edition. The one that I was playing was the Liberation, which we will play as African American girls, or I'm not sure whether it is actually a French adaptation or not. I'm not sure. So it was the Assassin's Creed Liberation for around 30 minutes, I guess, and the longer one is actually almost 40 minutes, maybe the Assassin's Creed ASIO collection, which is the oldest Assassin's Creed that tried to be remastered as a complete package in the Nintendo Switch. But to be honest, I will not really like it, because yeah, it still feels so classic, even though maybe the graphical quality is already refined into better ones during the remaster, but it still feels classic in terms of the features. Maybe because the map or the location is also in the old Constantinople, perhaps, or in the Italy. I'm not sure, the Roman Empire. So yeah, that's the reason why it is not as cool as the Assassin's Creed that was take place on America. Even though I'm still not really like it as well, because even the Red Dead Redemption with those more realistic, I'm still not really like it, because yeah, it was the time in old times where I just don't get it. What kind of things that people used to do, because to be honest, I'm really grateful that I'm actually living on the modern world, even though it seems that the world seems to be not as good as it used to be, but yeah, there are so many things that basically easy to be done. And then I finally figured out that I'm still recording the game, and then try to start recording and skip into the time that I finally opened the game. So it's already run 6 minutes, so the actual gameplay is only 18 minutes, and this is actually the game that used to be sold by the previous owner of this PlayStation 4 Slim. So my college friend is already sold this game for a little bit cheaper price than the one that I tried to buy it again after it. Just like the Far Cry 5, which I tried to buy it again, but this time I tried to buy the deluxe version, which had the original soundtrack in the compact disc, which is basically not really important, because it's most likely it's just not popular music that you will get on the Spotify or Apple Music. So yeah, it's just for collection purposes, perhaps. So since this game was used to be owned by my college friend before, so I can continue his progress, even though for some reason when I try to ask him, it is very weird. So that's the reason why he's not even complete this game yet. Just like the Uncharted, perhaps, I'm not sure. I think he haven't completed those games at all, unlike The Last of Us, which he's already tried to complete once, and when I try to play it again, it is basically already a new game plus, I guess, if I'm not mistaken, even though those games already sold right now. So I will most likely try to do a regular new game on the PC, perhaps when it's finally released on the end of this quarter. So yeah, it's just really weird. It feels like an online games, but try to be forced as offline. So you are basically exploring the world as a team, even though the team is basically just like a bodyguard. So it's most likely just like a bodyguard trainer, where you can do on the Grand Theft Auto 4 or the Grand Theft Auto 5 or even the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, where you can recruit your gang members. So that's the reason why it's basically not necessary, not really dedicated to certain kind of mission, like the one that basically perform unique abilities. So that's the reason why at some point some of the mission that was played on the Grand Theft Auto online is just not possible to be done on the offline, even with the mods or any kind of adjustments. So because the player or the other necessary player are just meant to be unique, unless you can try to record their movements, which is, I think I haven't seen those in the open world games as a feature. Maybe we will see on the Grand Theft Auto 6, I'm not sure. So it's basically like the ghost feature in the racing game, so you are actually trying to play the same exact race over and over again in order to pick your highest points.
¿Qué fue eso, pues? Ya me picó el mosquito.
So yeah, the setting is actually pretty good. It was in the South America, so it's pretty rare to have an open world or even
Buckle up, people.
open world games that was set on the South America, because yeah, South America is most likely like any other Asian country, so definitely still in the development phase of the country. So that's the reason why the place is not as advanced as the one that was seen on many places on the game, which is in advanced countries or even in fictional development countries such as Kazakhstan or even Far Cry.
The weather's great, the women are willing, and the blow is la neta.
The open world
I have to
indie
ask,
games that was
where's the
developed by
taco?
Brazilian
I like
developer
Bolivian
is
food.
pretty interesting,
I like to take a little bit more
especially
break and eat my ají de
when you
albóndigas.
try to
But man, when I smoke a lot of weed
represent
and I get the
the
munchies,
real
I need
location
me some tacos.
of the
Aren't
open
there no
world
good Mexican
games.
restaurants down here?
So yeah,
That's
I'm
what I'm
not
gonna do.
sure. So
There
there
are a whole
is an
bunch of
Indonesian
Mexicanos,
indie
charros,
game
como
developer,
dicen,
which I
well,
think I
in
already
Bolivia now,
tried to
go after
explain it
tacos.
on
So
the
I open
previous
up a good Mexican
Animoji, but I'm
restaurant.
not
Or
sure
we can
which
do
games
a
that I
taco truck.
try
I can put a remote unit in there
to
and sell you
explain
guys
that.
tacos while I broadcast.
Yeah,
A
it was
huevo.
basically
A
like
genius, man.
Indonesian bully games. Yeah, it's called Troublemakers, but for some reason it's not.
Opening fire. Enemy down.
It's just
¿Cuándo estará contigo?
Pronto, muy pronto. Recuerda, el chico ya va para Bolivia. No te lo puedes perder.
¡Fiesta! ¡Fiesta! Baile, tequila y las mujeres más bellas en la gran presentación de Su Majestad, el Rey del Taconazo. El Chino. Espéralo pronto en tu ciudad.
I've got visual on
So
bodies
yeah,
hanging by the
already
side of the
halfway
road.
on
It's like
videos,
civilians.
and
They
for
think this
some
will make us
reason I
back
just
off?
don't get it.
Big
Why?
mistake.
Because it feels like so barbaric, because yes, the guys were tortured in the side of the road. This one is pretty crazy. And since
We'll leave a
we
marker so the
are
rebels can pick up the
actually
supplies later.
in the group of 4 people, so
I'm riding a
it's
motorcycle.
pretty weird when
Go on
we have
without
to use vehicles that can only consist of small players. So basically they will eventually teleport to your location for some reason when we are eventually need them during the gunfight. So yeah, one thing that makes the open world games is also pretty interesting is because the AI that was basically feel the world is need to be as vibrant as possible and to make it realistic. So random events is pretty necessary.
Guns down. We don't need to frighten these
So
people.
it's basically not just people walking around. Then, as you can see, it's just automatically teleported when we are open fire.
Clear out. I'll meet you there.
So yeah, that's pretty weird, because if it is can be made more realistic, I think they should follow with other vehicles, just like a real person that was trying to follow you online as a convoy, perhaps. But yeah, I think those feature is pretty hard, perhaps, to be created. I'm not sure. Say if I try to consider just cause, it's not as good, because it's basically just a one-man army, but this time they tried to provide for groups of people like the A-team perhaps. But yeah, it still feel pretty weird, maybe because they didn't have the feature that Grand Theft Auto 5 was had, which is the switching characters. So it is pretty interesting if it can be implemented in this game, but sadly because of lack of features, maybe this game is also not really success. Or yeah, I just don't get it why it's like the combination of Far Cry and Just Cause and Grand Theft Auto 5 perhaps, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's just pretty weird because everything seems to be done on the menu rather than exploring the game on your own. Mission seems to be available at the beginning for some reason. So it's just conquering a territory. Just don't get it why. So there's actually one more Ghost Recon games that was released on the PlayStation 4 and also the PC, obviously. But I'm not sure whether it is actually an open world game or it's just static, because for some reason static is definitely better than the weird open world games like this where you basically didn't have many choices as well. I'm not sure about the open world games in Metal Gear Solid would like, because yeah, it's like try to combine the technology from fictional stories in the 70s, which I just don't get it why they decided to put the setting on during the Cold War era. Maybe there are some events that want to be related, I'm not sure.
Yeah, we got cartel soldiers nearby. Get balls.
Definitely there will be another players automatically spawn.
That's it, we're clear.
So the weapon seems to be pretty cool because it's just standard weapons and they tried to make it realistic as well, so we need to carry a lot of things in the bag. But yeah, it still feels weird, maybe because
Go ahead, I'll meet you.
there are no exact storyline. So this game was actually developed by Ubisoft.
Sorry about this, brother, but I gotta have the car out.
That was
Let's go.
Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs definitely better than
This is DJ Perico coming back from a non-stop block of tunes. That last track brought me back, Vatos. I was remembering this time me and my
Alright, let's roll.
this party on that East 38th Street hood in LA. We didn't roll with those carnales, but I was sweating this morning. His brother was in it real deep.
Or maybe
I mean, he
because
was like 15 or
they
something,
actually
14.
own the
And like the
license
youth
of
we were,
Tom
we wanted
Clancy
to come through the door
and
looking
also
hard,
the Ghost
cabrones,
Recon, so
but
that's the
I
reason
mean,
why they
man,
just
that
want to
fucker was
utilize
always
it
stoned.
with the
When
better
we were on the way
games,
there, we saw
but
this red
yeah,
taco
still
truck on the
far
corner.
from
These guys are
what
the money.
so-called has
And
addicted open world games. I don't know, maybe because they're trying to be unique, but at the same time, it's basically weird.
Weapons free, weapons free.
So this game was actually released after the Grand Theft Auto 5, definitely. So that's the reason why the graphic quality is actually a little bit better, I guess. But yeah, in terms of features, this game definitely didn't have anything. So I was trying to do a simple mission, just changing a truck into a decoy truck, but I eventually failed because the time was already running out.
Back in your own hands. This is the reality of today, not some fantasy tomorrow you have to hope for. Es ahora, banda. No political party, no union is around to tell you how to run your life. We have to.
No hay actividad enemiga en la última posición conocida, intentando resumar contacto.
This way of life. Pinches lobos disfrazados de ovejas. We go to our part. But you must do yours.
They can get into the truck, just one guy, so the rest of it is just seems to be protecting the point where we will switch the truck. You know, if we try to open fire, the remaining two members definitely come teleporting for some reason. So here we are, actually 4 minutes remaining. I think I can finally do this Animoji without any interruption, hopefully. But I think I'm not sure whether I will do another Animoji or not, because yeah, for some reason when I already try to create Animoji more than an hour on a day, it already feels so bored, because yeah, for some reason
Man, your concert, Pachangón
it's still
Boliviano,
not
is all that anybody's talking about right now. Now, I know
as
that you
good
toured
as
live.
I expected when it finally uploaded.
Or dead, yeah,
So
for
that's
sure.
the reason
And we
why
appreciate you taking the detour in your plans to come down here for your amigos and stuff.
I'm still not have enough motivation to do this all the time. So yeah, but I'm pretty sure it will eventually create it for all of the things that I have ever recorded, and even the games that I never been recorded before but used to be played before. So yeah, as part of the nostalgic, but I'm not sure, because I think I do prefer to finish the remaining rather than creating another one, especially I'm already currently just playing Grand Theft Auto Online, which I even too lazy to stream directly into Twitch because I was feeling it was pretty repetitive for some reason. So that's the reason why.
Those fat beauties that I can't get enough of.
And on that note, which is kind of weird, you're talking about your here's doing that whole
I
reminds me
got
of my mama. It's
interrupted
about a
for
thing,
some
mama.
reason. Not sure even it's only 1 minute remaining.
Down, they're gonna see you. I'm engaging takeouts.
Okay, so I decided to continue since I know I will still have some free time after several minutes or hours perhaps. So yeah, instead of try to stop the recording and also close the Zoom meeting and try to create another Zoom meeting, which basically separate the recording of the Animoji. Since yeah, it's just pretty annoying since it's only 1 minute remaining of this video, and I think I will most likely try to create another Animoji perhaps for the Assassin's Creed Liberation, and hopefully it is not gonna be interrupted since it will definitely longer than this video, which is 7 minutes longer, I guess. So yeah, that's the annoying things, since I definitely need to wait for the Zoom recording process to be finished first. Since yeah, this is pretty quite long video. Well, even though it's only 24 minutes, but it still takes time to process the video, especially when my Mac Air is not strong enough to do all of this. So yeah, that's all.